המרצה האחרונה שלנו להערב, last but not least, זאת אנה, תודה, מגיע לך, שתדבר איתנו על Analytics, how your users can help you in testing.
Okay, so my name is Hanna. My presentation will be in English. So today we will speak about our users, their behavior, and how they can help us. A little bit about myself. So I'm current owner of mobile app, BIM360 Android application. So here you can find and you can see my contacts. You're welcome. Just a second. Okay. So let's start from the problem. So very often we can think about, okay, from where to start, what to do, or actually to what we can spend more time, or what we need to test more, or what we from where to start. Even automation, manual, doesn't matter. Like what should be, what should take more time, what should be a little bit postponed. So all these questions, it's every time like problematic questions, and it's every time need to be improved, and every time we need to be flexible with it. So regarding to this, I started to use some analytics tools. And today I want to explain you some examples how it can help in real work and in real life to use this analytics tools. Okay, so from the beginning I want to separate two types of perspective. First of all, we can take some analytics regarding users. It means that it's mostly regarding our users, their activity, what they do with our applications. What can we gather from them? For example, mobile devices or some information about projects. And second part, it's more technical side. It's regarding some crashes or some network errors, which we can gather and which we can see, and which can help to our developers, for example, to fix bugs even without steps to reproduce or just without feedbacks from our users. Okay, but today we will talk about mixed panel. And if you saw in the previous slide, mixed panel related to user perspective. What does it mean? It means that it's a cross-platform service which can provide for us data about user and their activities in mobile application, in web, and on some other platforms. So whatever you need, you can take with this product. Based on their website, you can see all the solutions and features which they can provide to you. It means that there are a lot of them, like something about people, something about some diagrams, something about retention, like everything you want. Let's talk about how we use it and how actually I use it on my QA daily basic job. So from the beginning, we have a PRD specifically for analytics. It's created on our side by a product, and it's developed from the beginning. So it means when we just started to create any feature, we create and we check what we need to know about this feature from our users. It means that we need to create data about events. For example, login, edit markup, add something like just features or events which you want to know when user do it. Parameters, which you want to gather for every specific events. It means that every event you can be very customized, and you can choose what you want to take from every event. And of course, you need to choose when you want to trigger this. It means that in which moment you want to take this data from users to yourself. As example, it's one of the feature on our site, and you can see here, for example, it's related to markups. First line, first table is related to events and name of the events. After this, we have information about trigger. It means that it's information about when we want to receive this event and what it does mean for us. Also, you can see parameters. It means what we want to see when this event will come to us. Some nodes, if something is very specific or something is very critical for us. And we have status from developer side and from QA side. What does it mean? It means that when developer implements this event, we mark it on our PRD, and by this way, in general, on our site we have information in which version it was added. It means that we know from which version it works, and after QA will add a mark that it was checked. It means that at this specific version, this specific event works as expected, and everything is okay. If we have any updates, we can add like mark about updates, also with the version on which version it was updated. There is, in general, there is information if you have any additional nodes, for example, from developers. It means that something was missing or something cannot be implemented for now. So we can talk about it from the beginning, and when QA starts to check, he knows that something will be implemented later. And of course, it's approved by the product. So let's talk about how it really can help us and what we can do with all this information. From the beginning, we can understand top devices, top browsers, and we can easily create a filter with breakpoints, and we can filter what we need from our product now. For example, we can choose just by platform, but also we can choose specific market, or we can choose specific customer. If we really need to know some information about a real customer, and it's not very nice sometimes to ask a lot of time from customers some information, we can just see all this data in Mixpanel. So on our site, for example, we have this table of top devices. It's updated one in a few months. And by this data, we know how many Android users we have. Also, we can mark that it's unique users, so it's really relevant for us. Also, we know model of the devices, and we know for every model how many users we have. It helps us to understand on which devices we need to check, and which operation system is more relevant for us during releases and during some period of time when we don't have like a lot of time. Regarding automation, it's a very complicated question every time to find time for automation and understand what we should automate from the beginning, what is more important for us, and also what can we run in production, like sanity, or what can we put to regression. So by this way, I use Mixpanel tool. It means that by Mixpanel I can see top events, and what it means for me. It means that some events, it's very popular for users, and it means that I need to be sure that all these events works well in production. So on my case, I update one in a few months my sanity test, and in general it runs one in a few hours every day in production. So by this case, I know that for sure top events, like most needed features from user works. If it will not work, I will know it like in a few hours after this worst case scenario. So also you can explain by this information to different stakeholders of your project why you want to have more time for implementing automation for one feature, and you think that another feature can be postponed or you can do it a little bit later. Because if something is not so popular from user perspective, of course it's better to make something very, very critical for users. Also, it helps us to understand some user problems. So, when we work with mobile application, we received some feedbacks from users, sometimes to Apple Store, to Play Store. So, by this case, I can find information of this, about these users, specifically by email, or you see how many lines, like by names, and I can see which activity or which features this user use. So it means that when I can see that user every time is typing one specific feature, it means for me that this feature blocks him. It means that something happens specifically on this feature. Also, as I said from the beginning, it's a cross-platform tool. So it means that I can see if user work on different other platforms. For example, if I see that on web user has the same problem, so he's stopped to work on one specific event, it means that problem not related to client side. For me, it means that probably it's something more global and more deeper. So it can help me to resolve or to understand the problem even without a lot of questions to user. It helps us to check new features after the release, because when we do a release, it means that we push our new features to release, and we need time to understand their feedback, if they love it or not, if it has some problems or not. So sometimes it's a little bit problematic to understand if everything is clear for user, if if design is okay and it's understandable and user can even understand that it is a new feature in a release. So by this way, we also have a practice after release, first few days, to see by analytics if someone used this feature, if we receive new information about it, and make some results based on it. It means that first of all we can see if it's popular for users. In this case we can understand that user really need it, and it can help us to understand that we really did a great job and we provide some needed feature. Or we can see that no one started to use it. And in this case we can recheck and to see, first of all, it can be a problem with analytics. Everything happens. Second one, it means that we have some blocker which related to feature, and feature in general doesn't work. Or also maybe it's not really clear for user, and user didn't understand that there is a new feature, or it's not needed for them, so we can work with it. Any questions? Okay. So let's summarize about what we talked today. This speech was about analytics. It was about also problem, understanding what we need to do, how we need to check on which devices, and how to understand what really user wants from us. Also, we talk about some type of analytics. So we can see that it can be not only information for users or not only information from developers, it can work together, and we can take information from different points of view. Also, we talked about mixed panel and some solutions and features which can provide to customers, to us, and also we can see how can we use it and what can we do with it. And after this we talk about cases which really help me on QA position, so I hope it will help you too. Thank you.
טוב, אז זהו, תודה. הערב הזה הסתיים. אל תשכחו גם למלא את הסקר בעזרת ה-QR'ים שמפוזרים פה בחלל, בקומה. ומי שלא לקח מדבקות, עבדנו עליהם מאוד מאוד קשה. אז אתם יכולים לקחת מפוזרים גם בשולחן הזה וגם בשולחן של הקבלה. וזהו, ותודה רבה לכם. וערב נעים. ביי ביי.